All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks so much for coming. My name is Jared Geiser. I'm the executive director of AltaCal Audubon. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to see all these wonderful photos from our members and what people have been seeing. Well, without further ado, I think we'll go ahead and get started with our member slideshow. Yeah, so George Raleigh, would you please come up and begin our member slideshow?
Okay, so in February, Leanne and I went to Costa Rica. So most of these slot pictures will be from Costa Rica. I thought I'd start it out with this fellow because he's so handsome. This is a emerald toucanet, a small toucan. That's on Foss, and then this is just a profile shot of the same thing. So the the it's a pretty dramatic bird, and there's all kinds of birds that are dramatic in Costa Rica, and I'll just show a few of them. This is the yellow throated toucan. And this is what it looks like in from our balcony in the evening. I thought that profile was pretty neat. And this is a teal-billed toucan. And this is a collared aracari. And this is the one a lot of people you have to get up in the mountains to see this one. And this is the resplendent Quetzal. You'd think this would be the bird of Costa Rica, but I think it was taken already, so it's not. Uh, what's that? You just have one slot. We saw it a few different times. That's what your question was? Yeah, no, we saw it a few times in that area. This is a scarlet macaw. It would also be a good bird for Costa Rica, but or the bird of Costa Rica, but a national bird, but it's not. This is it in action, and this is a couple of them hanging out on the branch together. Great. This is the great green macaw, another good candidate. But in fact, this is the national bird of Costa Rica. Yeah, of all the choices, this is a crazy one. So I thought I would include it. It's a clay-colored thrush. What's that?
Mention what part of the country you were in when you made these sightings?
No. Yeah, we traveled to different spots, and that's one of the actually one of the problems with Costa Rica is that the infrastructure is very poor. So the most they have are two-lane roads with, and if all the trucks and everything else are on these roads, and it takes a long time to get from point A to point B, and that can kind of put a real damper on your fun. This is a prong-billed barbet, and how that bill has evolved. It's mainly a fruit eater. I don't know what that just but I don't know what the point of that bill is, and this was also from our balcony. This is a crimson-fronted parakeet, and they've got a whole bunch of different hummingbirds. This is a violet saber wing. This is a green capped brilliant, and this is a white-necked Jacobin.
Are these all the really tiny hummingbirds?
No, they're not tiny. No, they're about the same size as our hummingbirds. This is a rufous tailed. This was right off of the patio in another place where we're staying. And this is an emerald crown hummingbird, again, right off of the patio. And this is a green violet ear. This is a lineated woodpecker. It looks a lot like the pileated, but I think the crown is a little bigger. Pardon?
Same size as a coyote?
Pretty much, yeah. And that's a Hoffman's woodpecker, again, similar to the gold fronted that we have. This is not a great picture because I was looking up in the tree, but and it's kind of backlit, but the bill is pretty impressive. That's a boat-billed heron. And this is a little blue heron, and then a tri-colored heron. This is a gray-necked wood rail. Pardon? It's about about yay big. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And that's an Amazon kingfisher. They have honey creepers. This one obviously is a red-legged one. This is a male red-legged honey creeper. And this is a green honey creeper. It's the male, and that's the female.
Do they move up the branches like the brown creeper?
No, I didn't.
Flowers.
They what?
Take from flowers.
Oh, this is a shiny honey creeper. That's the male, and this is the female. In this case, the female is almost as impressive as the male. And this is a chestnut-headed oral pendula. They've got all kinds of tanagers. This is the scarlet rumped. And this is the same, this is the female. And there's a silver-throated tanager. And this is a blue-crowned motmot. And a rufous-tailed jacamar. Great kiskadee. And an olive-backed euphonia. And that's a Baltimore Oriole that obviously spends the winter in Costa Rica. And again, this bird was right off of my patio. That's a buff-throated saltiter. And that's the black-headed one. This is closer to home. This is in Butte Creek Canyon. This is a nesting Nuttall's woodpecker. And this is in the Ruby Mountains in eastern Nevada, a family of dusky grouse. And there they are scampering away then.
That's a great shot.
Thanks. And this is out at Sacramento. The Clark's grebes going east and going west.
Was that on that alternate route off of the main auto
Yes.
tour?
Yeah, the one that's it's closed most of the time, I think, but it's closed right now.
Yeah, it's only open in the summer.
Yeah. And this is a nesting dipper up by Cherry Creek. And this is a green heron that this is a first day it's fledged and it's foraging for the first time. So and I don't know how good he is at it. And that's a wood duck on the pond at the golf course. And somebody had mentioned the white-winged scoter, so this is one, and it's interesting because Joan had a picture. Just she'd been out there a couple days earlier and had an almost identical picture. So although they hang out with the coots, they must somehow they get pissed off by them. So,
I think the Scoter's got the advantage.
and this is just a better picture of the detail of it, and that's it.
Excellent from the Zoom audience. That was beautiful, George.
All right, let's have a round of applause for George Raleigh. Thanks for sharing, George. All right, we're gonna have Larry Jordan share his photos next. Larry is with the Shasta Birding Society, based out of Reading, and really good photographer. I went birding with Larry at the Haynes Creek wetland area last month and got some really good photos. And then saw him again at Gray Lodge just Saturday before last. All right, Larry Jordan, take it away.
Okay. Peregrine falcon seen from the Sacramento National Wildlife Refuge in the photo blinds. There are 4 photo blinds in the National Wildlife Refuge in Sacramento. There's 2 on the Sacramento National Wildlife Refuge. There's one at Delavan, there's one at Calusa. And so you can rent those. I think it's $25 for a day. I highly encourage it for photographers. This is a bald eagle that's just on the auto tour at Sacramento. Red-shouldered hawk looked like it was right after he ate something, I'm guessing. As you can tell, I like to have photos of raptors looking at me. This is the same bird. Was probably screaming, probably not at me though, but on the auto tour. This is a prairie falcon at Fall River. Fall River Mills on Rat Farm Road and Big Lake. The winter time is a great place to find winter raptors there. This is a red-tailed hawk. That was, I believe, at Sacramento National Wildlife Refuge as well. Obviously, this guy just got done eating something there. He's got some feathers in his claws, and his crop looks pretty full. Red-tailed hawk taken off. So this is a leucistic bald eagle that was at the Winter Wings Festival back in 2014. And this is the same bird in flight. I don't know if that bird is still showing up at the Winter Wings Festival up there in Oregon, but it was there for years. This is a rough-legged hawk, also on Rat Farm Road and Fall River. This is the light morph for rough-legged hawk. This is, I think this is considered the dark morph rough-legged hawk, also in Fall River. Cooper's hawk, this is on the Sacramento National Wildlife Refuge auto tour. Great place to find all kinds of raptors. This is a Swainson's hawk, dark morph. And this was, I forget, somewhere southeast down below off of Portola, I think. This is also a Swainson's hawk. I filmed at Modoc National, outside Modoc National Wildlife Refuge. This is the light morph. This is the light, more ferruginous hawk. Obviously, you can tell by the long gape. It goes all the way underneath their eye there. Anybody know what this is?
Is it a young red tail?
No, it's this is what the back of a ferruginous hawks look like. That curve of white speckles at the top of the tail there, and
Wow.
the windows in the wingtips.
Beautiful.
This is a ferruginous hawk in flight that I just photographed Saturday up at Fall River. You can see that gape goes all the way behind the eye, and then you can see the little spots on the tail on this bird too. Yeah, I think that's my favorite raptor actually. This is a northern goshawk that was that I didn't. It's a captured bird that was at the festival up there in Oregon, where they were teaching people how to photograph birds in flight. Unfortunately, so I don't get to put that on my list because I've never seen a goshawk other than this one, northern goshawk. Male American kestrel. This was at our local wastewater treatment plant. Mother peregrine falcon. He was at our local wastewater treatment plant as well. This is a merlin, a taiga, or I think it's called taiga. It's the most common bird, merlin, that we see here in the wintertime. This was at Lima Ranch, one of our other places that we bird a lot. Osprey catching a huge fish. I think that's a bass. White-tailed kite. So this is a bird. This is a bird I got in Costa Rica. So I had to go all the way down to Costa Rica to get this white-tailed kite. Actually, I already had it on my list from down in Chico, but I guess you don't see them very often down there anymore, right? The white-tailed kites. Yeah. I don't. They've only been seen up here in the Redding area, very infrequent, maybe a couple of times.
We used to see him in Oroville quite a bit at the forebay.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. Great horned owl. This was in Palo Cedro. This is a female that was had chicks there actually, and I took a photo of her when she wasn't busy feeding them and stuff. Northern spotted owl. I got to photograph this bird at the festival over on the coast there. It's pretty much guaranteed when they take you out in the lumber company's properties, the spotted owls are there. Western screech owl. I photographed this on a Christmas bird count several years ago up in Fall River. He's standing on a no trespassing sign there. This is an exceptional. This is a great gray owl that showed up at Lima Ranch here in Redding. I think it was 3 years ago now. It was found and refound by some really good birders in Redding, and I think there's quite a few people came to see this guy. He was, I don't know how long it was there. He was just there for a few days. We spent weeks trying to find this bird, and finally found it. Got some photos.
Larry, was that the same year that bird was in Humboldt, the great gray?
No, it wasn't actually.
All
Yeah,
right.
it was a different year. Barn owl in flight. Well, so now there's some Costa Rican birds. This is a laughing falcon. I figured I'd put in some raptors from Costa Rica because we had a few down there. Laughing falcon. This is a bat falcon. And I actually got video of this guy. He was munching on some kind of bird. I don't know what it was. But this was when he was done eating here. This snail kite, also Costa Rica. Crested caracara. Probably many of you have seen this bird. Didn't you have a caracara over there for quite a while, several numbers of years or something? I had to go to Costa Rica to get this bird.
People here are saying we have not seen them in our area. Maybe in
I thought,
Texas, but not near Chico.
I thought, oh, Chico, no, over on the coast. Sorry. Yeah, they had a crested caracara over on the coast in
Yeah, Ken said
Arcata.
he saw it.
Yeah, yeah, that came several years, I think, in a row. I don't think it stayed there. Did it, Ken? Or was it just came back year after year?
Just moving through.
Yeah, they're all. I mean, they're common in Costa Rica, and of course,
Aw.
my favorite, my favorite burrowing owls. Um, you can sell. Obviously, they're pretty content there. The couple of the adult is sleeping, and of course, there's always one at least that always continues to monitor you when you're watching them. So that's it for me.
Awesome.
Oh no, I had two more. You guys know Eric. You know Erica Iacona.
Yes. Ken does.
Yeah, Ken does. So that's her with a saw-whet owl. She's up here in Reading now, banding owls up here at Lassen Park. And then I had Western screech owls in my nest box. The nest box that I made originally for flickers. Some screech owls took it over, and this is, I think, the third year that we had these. And hey, Ken, yeah. So Erica and I banded these guys this year.
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be so, but we didn't get the mother, so we're gonna next year. Hopefully, they'll nest in the same box, and we can get Erica down there to band the female. All right,
Thanks, Larry. Those are
All right.
great.
Thanks so much, Larry.
very welcome.
All right, John Seed, would you like to come on up? All right. So John is our Understanding Biodiversity Education board member and quite the wildlife photographer, as we're all about to see.
After all of those, are you kidding? But anyway, the fun part for me is to go to schools, and we go to schools. Jared and I usually go to schools, and we've done a lot of kids, but six fourth grades in Orland. So it's quite a few kids, and we go for 3 weeks at a time. Each class an hour and a half, and we do usually biodiversity, understanding it, and linking in why everything's important, everything's interrelated and interconnected. So we have a lot of stories. And today I was having my own technology problems in a class with fourth, fifth, and sixth graders. And we were trying to watch this amazing movie that we've seen before. It's called How Wolves Changed the Course of Rivers. You've seen that one before, where they reintroduce the wolves back into Yellowstone. And that makes all the birds come back because the trees grow up that the deer have been eating the whole time, and the rivers are winding around. So anyway, these just reintroducing those wolves brings back so many different animals. So we're trying to teach the kids that everything's interconnected, has a purpose, and we're dependent on that interconnection too.
Yeah, that is a
So
great video.
yeah, I thought they were Dunlins, but somebody said they're Dowitchers. So they know more than I do. And just a reflection, just my favorite birds. And these are ones we're going to take all of those kids that we've taught so much for the last couple of months and bring them to the Sacramento Wildlife Refuge on December 3rd and December 5th. And AltaCal pays for the buses, which comes to about $1,000 of 6 different classes coming through there. It's very fun. Plus, they all get binoculars. So it's a really neat thing for them. And then here's just Llano Seco. Just a neat misty day last year. Most of them are from this year, but anyway, no geese landed. This was at California Park. Joan Robbins now lives over at California Park, so she calls me all the time and says, here's what's around, come on by. But they're fun to watch, the hooded organzers.
Yeah, great shot.
And at that same little island out there, the heron comes and starts building a nest. So got a lot of shots of him. And here's down by Richvale, we went one day, and I was just out in a field. A couple of bald eagles. Here they are. They were kind of fighting over the last of somebody. This was a neat shot. We were used to go up on Highway 36, and there was a beautiful eagle's nest up there. And we watched the babies come and mature, and everybody was fine. But then a big wind came and knocked the nest down. So the next year, this last year, we went back to look. Well, they've made a nest way off in the distance, but they did come back to this one place, and I was lucky to get this landing, which was kind of cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, good one. This was at Point Reyes at Abbott's Lagoon, that sandy part of Abbott's Lagoon, just a great blue landing. This was on a field trip at the river park. Jared and I were there with a lot of fifth graders came on buses, and we would take them out for this little trip. And right where the restrooms were, that's the back of the restrooms. So they all get to see
I
that
got the
too.
spotting scope on.
Spotting scope, the whole thing. They all had binoculars.
You can see the black phoebe catching butterflies sometimes, bringing the little pieces.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Oh,
And these are the dippers that George had up at Cherry Hill. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'd never seen a nest up there, so that was pretty thrilling for me. The parents are active. I mean, continually feeding these babies back and
Yeah,
forth and back.
because they're continuously screaming.
Yeah, there you go. It's not a bird, but anyway, it is over at the coast. It's just another biodiversity creature. I think it's a regular. I'm not sure really. I knew what was it?
It's some kind of
No, it's not
racer.
No, it's just a very common garter snake. Pretty sure. I can't remember now, but anyway. Then we went up to Concal and got the last Y buntings. They're pretty fun up there. I have a new thing on my camera called Pro Capture that I was messing around with, and wasn't that successful, but a couple of them came out pretty cool. The chat. Cherry Hill. I'm sorry, Concal. Certain time of year.
the name.
Oh, I'm sorry. The lazuli bunting. Yeah, the yellow-breasted chat. Thank you. And at the same trip, there was this little kingbird hassling the red tail. Yeah, long way away, very long way away.
Yeah, that's
Very
that's a pretty. I've seen that quite often with western kingbirds harassing raptors.
Yes, I saw one I had one at the Sacramento Wildlife Refuge where this big eagle was just perched, and this thing was relentlessly after it over and
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
It finally
And
just
there's
the eagle
nothing that
gave up and flew away.
there's nothing the raptor can do because they're so slow compared to the. Yeah, hilarious.
This was going down the river in kayak. We do a lot of kayaking on the Sacramento River, and pretty content great blue heron with one leg up and a couple of little turtles.
Pond turtles.
Yep. This was on Big Chico Creek in my kayak. It's so hard to get kingfishers. It's really difficult. They just move away right when you get there. But this guy caught something right there in the fish and was coming right back at me. So it was kind of a cool shot. But kingfishers are difficult.
It's a tough shot to get.
Mm-hmm.
Is that water from its splash?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
Just coming back up. It was on the river again, Sacramento River. It's kind of edging closer to this osprey. There's so many of those out there. And here was a couple of little hummingbirds down at the Arboretum in Santa Cruz. They have a hummingbird trail, which is pretty cool with lots of facts. And then most of the trees and the bushes are from South Africa and in Australia. And so somehow they're pretty active all year long down there, pretty exotic plants. And this was my attempt at using this thing called Pro Capture. That I had a lot of shots, but most of them were out of focus with the depth of field kind of a thing. So that was pretty fun.
This
Here's
one
in my
worked
own,
well.
yeah, this is my backyard. Jared and I go to classes and do a thing on hummingbirds too, which is pretty cool. The kids can really relate to those. Here's a great blue heron on Big River in Mendocino. I love Big River. Such a great place to go and kayak and see great things. And here's an osprey launching towards the kayak I'm in. No, kind of coming right at me. Pretty cool birds. And then finally he came by. Yes. Yeah. And at the same time on the river, that's probably my best kingfisher shot because he just was like right there, 20 feet away and took off. That's a good one.
That's an
But
awesome shot.
yeah, it's a rarity. They see you coming and they move.
Oh yeah. Then they move back to where you were before after you've gone, right?
Exactly. They're very fun. And this little guy, I know. See, I like all kinds of wildlife, and this little otter was so cute. And he was with his parent. I couldn't tell male or female, but they were really right next to me doing this, looking for fish and things under the rocks. But I thought he was pretty cute with the. Yeah. And this is on Pine Creek, early in the morning. It's just kind of a nice shot of the green heron. Pretty cool. Very close, low light. And then this is down at Point Reyes.
Wow.
Certain time of year in February, as you know, or Point Reyes people that know. Anyway, there's a great road where they're all hunting up there. And it's become quite popular. And so it's kind of a drag now in the last couple of years I've been there where it's like everybody's got GPS and on phones and people are coming because they've been tipped off and it's kind of like a yard sale almost. It's yeah, anyway.
So what's in its mouth, John?
Evidently it's a pocket gopher. They're huge gophers. And yeah, they don't they don't move after they've been caught. He's just like petrified up there, I'm sure. But anyway.
So when John and I do the classroom education, raptors is our first lesson. So we teach them all about raptors, and we always talk about how the raptors contribute to, a better, healthier world for all of us. We don't all live our siloed lives as species on Earth. We're all living in a connected ecosystem, and we always talk about how raptors help with rodent control. Without the raptors, we'd have rodents roaming everywhere. And the coyotes, the bobcats, and the foxes.
Snakes.
They all play that role too.
Lots of rodents. So, and then we talk about when raptors were being shot and how we made a rule or a regulation or a law. So we always bring it back to what we did. We were pushing this block of some creature that might be extinct, but we get to push it back because we came to our heads and made a law or made something to protect them. So that's our message to the kids. We did one recently where this is a 2-minute video on birds flying into windows. And it was a beautiful thing. I taped it on Sunday morning, CBS. And in one night in Chicago, it showed 1,000 birds had crashed into these windows. And what we did as humans, we can put things on the windows. There's new laws. Certain cities are turning off the lights during migration. So this is good stuff for kids to see that is happening. This is the same morning as the little green heron was there, but Joan Robbins and I were in kayaks and we came out and here's this osprey with a fish and there he is flying away. Early light, which was nice. Wasn't too dark because we get out there very early. And this was another Cooper's hawk at the river. And we saw the bird fly into some bushes and we figured it was pretty much that kind of a raptor. And then Joan was on her phone when he came back out right here. And she was a little bit upset that she never got any of the shots. But there he was. And at the same time, another day or two, I was on the river very early and this bobcat was coming down right up from Scotty's. It's on Beer Can Island. Just a little bit up from Scotty's. Very beautiful. There he is. Yeah. And then the final one there he is looking. But I was paddling like crazy to get closer the whole time. Anyway.
I love that the face on that bobcat there.
Yeah, he's looking. And this is the yellow throated, is that right? The help me out.
Common yellow throat, female.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful.
Dawn. There's a very fluffy egret. Oh, and this is at Llano Seco. And wait at the outer platform, which used to be a platform, but now it's just a table. But anyway, we've been quite lucky with coyotes this year. So this guy came by. And then I got him running back. You know, I'm not sure there's a lot of rodents out there too. I saw them catching rodents. I think that's what they're mostly looking at. I think if there was somebody wounded, of course they would go after that, you know. But they're also on rodent control out there. Little burrowing owl. This is a neat story because this little guy on Lassen Road has come back 6 years in a row, and we know it's the same one because you can see that small dot under in the left eye, a tiny dot. And so for 6 years, this is the 6th year, it's come back in the same culvert. Exactly. And the last time I was up on Lassen Road, there was 6 burrowing owls along the road. So they're in the culverts there.
Were they all adults?
I think so, yeah. They've all come back. They migrated here. There was nothing there like a month ago. But at least this one's identifiable that year after year. Here was a new one that came back that I hadn't seen before. And then, of course, it's crane season. And here's some sandhills, early light kind of a thing. Yeah.
Classic.
Beautiful. And then I think this might be this was up in Alaska. We went a couple of years ago and eagles galore.
Yeah.
Fun. Anyway, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tom. Carolyn Short, do you have some photos to share at this time?
No, I just had this one that I don't know how to share anything on Zoom, but I put it in my background
Oh, nice.
on my screen. If I don't know if you can see it, but
Yeah, we can see it.
it's a this is on June 11th. I bought a owl nest box down at the farmer's market a few years ago, and I just finally got it put up a couple of years ago. And this last summer, I had 2 fledglings hatch out of it. And so there were 2 there, and then by the time I ran back and got my phone to take the picture, one had crouched back down, and then the next following day they had fledged. So that's the only picture I've got, but it was fun to watch them.
People are asking, is that a kestrel
Yes,
in your photo?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. You might get that kestrel might continue to breed there every year.
That would be
Let's
nice.
hope.
Yeah, we've had them here. I live out near Butte College. I have 12 acres out here, and so I see them, flying around, and they were perching inside this. It's the nest box is hung up on the west side of a carport, so they were in the carport. So I thought that would be a good place to put up the nest box, and it worked.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing that, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Are there any other members that would like to share any photos? I do see a couple other photographers in the Zoom audience. All right, well, no pressure. We had a wonderful array of presentations tonight. Thank you so much to all of our presenters. All right, well, that's a wrap. So thank you all so much, and we'll see you next month.